is only war.
What is up, gents? 40k Dirtbags here. We're doing a tactical video for Grey Knights. These are the first ideas of stuff that we can be doing in 10th edition. They just released the full index. I just did a video on it yesterday. I wanted to get it to you as soon as possible. So this is going to be posted up on Patreon first. So if you guys are part of Patreon, appreciate you guys. You guys are fucking awesome. Trying to keep up with all the content to keep it moving. A lot of stuff come out instantly, so I want to post it to YouTube instantly. But for videos like this, Patreons get first look, so you guys are fucking awesome. If you guys are a part of the Patreon, competitive and dirtbag, make sure you're always messaging me. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, ideas, tactics, want to get some games, message me on Discord 101. Nothing's a dumb question. Always ask. Don't feel shy. That's the whole point of being a competitive and dirtbag Patreon. So if you guys are new to the channel, we do a lot of these videos on a lot of different armies. We're currently playing Grey Knights, Chaos Space Marines, Sisters, Death Guard, and just started Custodies. Custodies look fucking insane, but also do Grey Knights. So I made this list yesterday, kind of while I was going through the data sheet, and also on Discord. They go over a bunch of crazy ideas. So these are the ones that I came up with. There's probably a bunch of stuff that we have figured out since then. So if you guys have any new or insane ideas, post them on Discord or leave in the comment below. Definitely hit the like and subscribe so these videos actually pop up for you guys. But we're more of a kind of like competitive, laid back channel. Not super competitive like Art of War, but still competitive. And then not super laid back. I guess what's another example? Like the guys over in the UK. They're crushing it, but they're like super laid back. So we're kind of like in between. So let's get into the video. I have a couple things that I could show you on the background. So we're going to go over this. We got a map that I can kind of show you where we're going to be doing some of these tactics. But I'm just going to go straight down. No specific order. Be good if the mic was closer to me. So no specific order, just going to be top to bottom. So first, the first thing that I wrote down on the piece of paper was first to the fray, obviously, because first to the fray is pretty good now, especially if you combine it with rapid ingress. So first to the fray is an enhancement that you can put on one of your characters. I'm thinking you're going to be putting it on your librarian. Either the sigil is going to go on the librarian or the first of the fray is going to go on librarian. But basically you combine first of the fray to come in turn one with the rapid ingress for 1 CP. So this says models in the deep strike ability can come in from strategic reserve on first turn, second turn, or third turn movement phases, regardless of any mission rules. And then when you look up rapid ingress, that's not rapid ingress, we have rapid ingress right here. That's purging fire. Where the fuck is rapid ingress? So rapid ingress basically says you can spend 1 CP coming at the end of your opponent's turn 1 movement phase, or just movement phase, as if it was your movement phase. So that keyword there, as if the movement phase, this says your movement phase. So that's how you're able to kind of do the turn 1 rapid ingress. So no matter what you put it on, you'll be able to put that on a unit, spend 1 CP, come in turn 1. Now it's at the end of the opponent's movement phase, so you're not going to be able to shoot. Obviously the turn they come down, but they come down, you know, and then let's say you're 9 inches away. On your turn, you're going to be able to walk up and then charge them, or walk up, shoot, and charge. So basically makes our guys super more aggressive to get in that turn. Or if you really like, I think I'm combining Drago with the 6-inch charge and then the rapid ingress turn 1. So that way on turn 2, let's say you went first. So if you go first, move up, and then they go at the end of their movement phase, you're able to come down. So that way on your turn, you have an easier charge. But then also Drago comes down on turn 2. So that way you have a 6-inch charge coming in and also rapid ingress unit coming in. So I'm not sure what unit we're going to be putting on. Maybe Librarian. Not sure. Librarian just comes down and nukes something off the table. So that's the first tactic, is you're able to do that. Flying up buildings for -1 AP. So there's a lot to go over this with Purging Fire. So when we have the Purging Fire rule, which is right here, this is the Ruins rule. Plunging Fire, sorry. Plunging Fire, each time a model is wholly within this terrain feature, makes a range attack that is 6 inches or more vertically from the ground level, and every model in the target unit improve the armor penetration characteristic by 1. So this is going to help out us increase our armor penetration a lot because we can teleport basically everywhere. So imagine a 10-man purifier unit teleporting. Let's say this is the top floor. They're going to teleport on the top floor, or even second, third floor of the building, as long as it's 6 inches vertical. So you teleport on the third floor, and then you can see down 18 inches because let's say purifiers, they have purify flame, and then all their storm bolters. Let's say the enemy unit is here, and they're 12 inches away, so they're like kind of like right here, just chilling. They're now on the bottom floor. You're shooting down on the top floor. All of the ranged weapons get +1 AP. So if they're with Crow in there, Crow's going to get 4 shots. All the purifiers are going to get 2 shots each. They're shooting down, hitting on 3s. You can spend 1 CP to advance up a couple floors, and then get +1 to hit for 1 CP. You can advance and shoot. So they're advancing up a couple floors, shooting down for plunging fire. So all of their weapons are AP2. Ignore cover for their Purify Flame, and then all their bolters, if they're within 12 inches, are just a shit ton of bolter shots at AP1. So they're just going to mow down so much shit, and then if they get shot at back, you're going to be able to potentially kill a guy or spend 1 CP for -1 AP against them, because they're 2 up save. Oh my god, there's so much to go over. So they're just gonna be super defensive. So they're running up the wall to get on the second floor to shoot down for plunging fire. Same thing works for dreadnoughts. I know this is a thing where if you can fit a dreadnought base on the top of a building, let's say there's enough clearance to put the dreadnought base up and it's 6 inches up, you can basically deep strike the dreadnought there, or teleport shunt the dreadnought there, or run up the fucking building because you gain fly on top of the building, and then the dreadnought's shot is going to be -1 AP. So the side cannon is going to be AP2, 3 damage, and the silencer is going to be AP1, 1 damage, or the flamer. The flamer shoots fucking 18 inches. So if the dreadnought is running up because it has fly and it can advance and shoot and charge, it's running up on top of a building, like if it could fit its base up, shoot down, and then charge down because it has fly. That's insane. And you get an auto advance 6. So basically you're moving 14 inches up or down the ruins. So you're going to be super fast, going all over the place. Purifier squads, or purgation squads, they ignore line of sight. So they could basically be doing the same thing. They're going to be advancing up, which you can spend 1 CP to shoot, or you could just move up or deep strike up, or whatever the fuck you want to do. You can basically get up to the second or third floor, shoot down, and then you ignore cover and with the flamers. So the distance is you can be max 8 inches up and then still shoot 12 inches down, as long as they're all that diagonal. So 6 to 8 inches up and then shooting 12 inches down, that's the math. You're still able to shoot the flamers on the other side of the wall with the purgation squad. So let's say you deep strike this squad over to here on the other side, on top floor, and they have a unit kind of like right here, 9 inches away from you. Right, they're up on top floor. They can then shoot down to these guys, and now they're AP2 flamers, ignoring cover. Fuck, that's insane. You don't really care about the line of sight because you're automatically hitting, and as long as somebody can see, so you're automatically hitting and they ignore cover. I think plunging fire is going to be insane with us, just because we can literally teleport all over the board. So people were saying tanks. Yes, tanks are going to be kind of an issue for us, because most of our strength is 10 at max, unless you're in combat with the hammers. It's going to be 14. But I mean, if you're hitting tanks at 3 damage, AP2 shots, strength 10, wounding on 5s, you can I guess that's really, you can just wound on 5s. So wounding on 5s with 6 shots is going to do some damage, especially 3 damage going through AP2. But most of the time we're just going to kill all the infantry on the table and then just kind of run around and claim the objectives and just win on the mission, honestly. So we don't have to kill tanks. We can tie them up, we can kind of consolidate, do whatever, and then just win on primary. So the plunging fire again is just super good, especially with the purgation squad, the purifier squad, the dread knights. Anybody that can get run up or just teleport up and then shoot down is going to be awesome. So Drago, if you guys already seen the 6-inch charge, that's going to be really good. So you can't make him come in turn 1 because he's an epic hero, he can't have first of the fray. But if you have another unit, if you have Stern, if you want to bring Stern's actually pretty good now. You can bring Stern's epic as well. If you want to put no, fuck it. Drago's going to come in with 6 inches, probably a Paladin squad or a Terminator squad. I like the Terminator squads better just because you can bring a banner, which now they're OBSEC 3, as well as being able to bring a guy back. So Terminators come down, turn 2, outside 9, and then you roll 6 for the charge. So basically you have a 6-inch charge with a full 10-man Paladin blob with Drago. Now, if you bring 10-man Terminators, you can put 2 Flamers in that squad, and then the banner, I believe, can upgrade to a Flamer. Let me just confirm that with you guys now. So I know the Paladins can actually put 5 heavy weapons in their squads. Can the Terminators as well. So Brotherhood Terminator squad, banner. Yeah, so Brotherhood Stormbolts can replace with banner. So no, you can only put 2 Flamers in there. You can't replace the banner with a weapon. I know the Paladin squad, if you really want to go deep and you want to run the Paladins, the Paladin squad can do 2 per 5, and then and then this guy, the banner, can also bring a Flamer or side cannon. So basically you can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then if you want to bring a Brotherhood champion or a Brother captain, he can also have a Flamer. So you could have 6 fucking Flamers coming down first of the fray. Yeah, so that's actually a pretty neat trick as well. If you want to just bring a 5-man Paladin squad with one of the HQs that can bring a Flamer, like a Brother captain or something, then you can have 1, 2, 3, 4 Flamers come down with a 5-man squad with him. So and they can do plunging fire as well. So the Drago with a 6-inch charge is going to be brutal to try and defend against. He's also going to give that unit, I believe, a 4-up mortal wound save. So if they have any thing where they can overwatch you when you come in from reserves, who the fuck cares, because you have a 4-up mortal wound save. And then you're going to be able to bring a Terminator back next turn as well with the Apothecary. True Silver Armor is kind of not broken, but really good. Spend 1 CP, you ignore AP1 or reduce the AP by 1. So most of our guys are going to have a 2-up save. So if they are in cover, they're going to be a 2-up save with a cover save, and then you ignore AP1. So you're going to ignore anything AP2 and lower. So you're most of the time going to be spending it on AP2 weapons. If you do AP3 weapons, you're going to go down to a 3-up fucking save. That is nuts, guys. So 3-up save with cover. If they ignore cover, you obviously can't do any of this stuff. Really just AP. So if it's ignoring cover AP1, you can do it, but it's only 1 CP. Like True Silver Armor last edition was 2 CP for Transhuman, which was bullshit. Now it's 1 CP to ignore anything AP2 or below because we're going to be in cover. So it works for the entire army because we're all 2-up saves, Terminators, and the regular guys. Mists of Deimos. So Mists of Deimos, let's go over that strat. That is kind of a busted strat. It's just going to make us not be attacked for most of the game. You can do this every single turn. Mists of Deimos. Your opponent's movement phase just after an enemy unit ends its normal move, advance, or fallback. So if they're in combat, let's say your Drago charges into combat, kills a bunch of stuff, consolidates, then that unit falls back. You can then spend 1 CP to remove that Drago's unit off the table, and then they can come in from reserves next round, and then just hopefully make that charge, but shoot and charge or whatever. So spend 1 CP, 1 CP, and remove that unit from the table and put them into strategic reserves. So you can either move 6 inches. So let's say it's a shooting unit, they want to fall back and shoot you. You can basically move 6 inches behind a wall so that way they can't shoot you. And then they're probably not going to want to charge you because you're a 10-man Terminator brick with Drago. But you move 6 inches back, or you just remove them from the table. So that's one option, is like, let's say you charge in, Drago's unit charges in, kills, consolidates, does all the shit, tie up a bunch of units. The last unit that falls back, you can then move 6 inches or just get removed from the table. Now that's one option. The second option is what I was thinking when I first saw this thing, is if we have, let's say this is their army, right here on the other side of the table, you can have a interceptor squad start here on your side of the table in a rhino. The interceptor squad advances out of the rhino 15 inches plus 6 inches, 21 inches out of the rhino. This interceptor squad is advancing 21 inches out of the rhino up to here, okay? They then get to shoot. Because you spend 1 CP, you can advance and shoot. The interceptors then have a 6-inch move, okay? They then can move 6 inches after they advance and shot. And you see what I'm doing here? They're basically tying the opponent's army up in their deployment zone. Now, obviously, you probably get a lot more range out of this because, you're going to be 2 inches apart from each other, and then the corner guys are going to be in the triangle to stay in coherency. So it honestly probably looks like this. So this guy goes here, right? This guy goes here. This guy goes here. You have a triangle here. So there's your triangle. This guy goes 2 inches away here. This guy 2 inches away here. This guy 2 inches away here. This guy 2 inches away here. 2 inches, 2 inches, and then 2 inches. So again, this is just an example, but that's kind of what you're doing with your 10-man interceptor squad. Now, they can't come within coherency view. So coherency is 1 inch. This squad would have to walk all the way around, right, this way to get around their 1 inch to walk around them. Same with tanks, same with everything. Fly, they just fly over you. So if you're going against a flying unit, this isn't really going to work. But you tie them up, and if they don't move their entire army, because somebody asked us if they don't move, yeah, you can't proc it. But that means their entire army within 9 inches of every single one of my guys doesn't end their movement within 9 inches of me. You can then just pick them up off the table and put them back in reserves. So this is a strategy where if you really want to be a dick, not a dick, but very 4D chest, Grey Knight strategic, you run an advance, maybe put 2 flamers in the squad or 2 side cannons, probably flamers, right? So you run in advance, get them 21 inches away, they shoot, right? And then they move 6 inches kind of closer towards them, and then you proc this Mist of Deimos, and you can either move 6 inches away behind the wall, kind of like we just went over, or you can just take them off the table. So you're basically going to block in their entire fucking army with your 10 dudes. That's insane. So I would really want to test that out just to kind of see if it's as powerful as what I'm thinking in my head, and then combine with this. The other thing you combine with this is we have another strat called this right here. So 1 CP in your movement phase, 1 Grey Knight Psycho unit from your army is arriving from Deep Strike or Teleport Assault abilities. You can place it anywhere on the battlefield 3 inches away. So basically you're kind of doing the same thing, except you're just placing them within 3 inches away. So they're basically coming down via Deep Strike. They're 3 inches out from their entire army. And then you're still able to shoot. So you come in Deep Strike, you shoot. Now I don't think you can move after that with the interceptors. You might be able to, because I don't know if in the core rules, pre-core rules, you couldn't come in from Deep Strike and then move again. So I'm not sure if you can do it. Somebody let me know if you can do it in 10th edition, come in Deep Strike and move. So this says, that's Purifier. I need interceptors, here we go. So it says, in your shooting phase, after this unit has shot, if it's not within engagement range, you can make a normal move up to 6 inches as if it was your movement phase. So it doesn't limit us from, that's got to be in the core rules. So if in core rules, if it says that you can't come down from Deep Strike and then move again, then you could do this. So basically, you can Deep Strike your interceptors 3 inches away and then shoot and then move 6 inches again to kind of spread out a little bit more if you need to. Most of the time, you're going to just come in within 3 inches and then just, I mean, you might actually come in from 3 inches, kill a unit, and then move up 6 inches closer. So let's say they have a chaff unit up here, right, in front, trying to block, charges and all that stuff. You come in within 3 inches, your whole unit kills this chaff unit, and then you just move up closer, right, like this. So you can do it that way. And then you save that 1 CP so that way you can just get taken off the table again. So that could be a cool strat as well. Yeah, that's gonna be a really good strat. So that's the other thing, is the interceptors blocking out and coming in from deep strike and then moving and all that stuff. So let me know in the comments below if you can do the move after deep strike. All right, so next thing would probably be the interceptors going back into the rhino. Let's say this is your rhino right here. They still gain the 3-inch disembark from the tanks. So they are not jump infantry, so they're still counted as infantry, so they can fit 10 interceptors in a rhino or a razorback. Razorback can hold 6, I believe. Rhino can hold 12 now. So they can basically be hopping out and get an extra 3-inch movement. So you can put 2 5-man interceptor squads in the rhino, so that way they can hop out 2 different directions or whatever it may be. Now interceptors are able to hop out basically 15 inches, shoot, and then move an extra 6 inches. So we went over this at the last time, but let's say there's a 10-man or 5-man that are hopping out of the rhino. They basically rhinos against the wall right there. They're hopping out 3 inches, and then they're moving 12, so that's 15 inches, and then they shoot, and then they just move up 6 inches. So they're able to kind of like move out, shoot, and then get on the other side of the wall. Same thing with the unit over here. So if you have another 5-man, they can basically hop out, shoot, and then move out. Or if you want to spend 1 CP, they hop out 21 inches because they get to advance for free, 6 inches. They shoot still, and then they can hop out 6 inches. So these guys in a rhino can basically hop out super far, shoot, and then hop out on the other side of the wall, on the other side of the basically map. That's how fast the interceptors are going to be in these like rhinos and razorbacks. The trick of the razorback now is they fucking added this for no apparent reason, is if this is a razorback, the razorback can basically just, the guys can get out. So let's say you have a 5-man, right? They hop out of the rhino, 15 inches. If it's a purgation squad, they could basically hop out or advance for 1 CP and still shoot. But if they're a purgation squad, the razorback can move out. Let's say it's behind this wall right here. It can move 12. So let's say this razorback moves up 12 inches to here. The guys inside get out 3 inches. The razorback then shoots the unit, and then all these flamers from your purgation squad gets to shoot that unit with full rerolls to wound. So holy shit. The trick here is if you have a razorback, they hop out, let's say it shoots pretty far, you can have a side cannon team hop out up, get out of the razorback going up 6 inches, and then they can shoot down using that plunging fire that we went over before and get the +1 AP, but also they reroll all wounds. So you can advance them out for 1 CP, they get +1 to hit, or they can just move out 9 inches up and then shoot down side cannons and get the reroll wounds. So that's one way that you can really kind of abuse the razorback. The razorback being able to full reroll the wounds is kind of nuts. I think it's going to benefit the most of the purgation squad because you basically can fit in 4 heavy weapons in the purgation squad in the razorback. The purifiers, if you have a 5-man purifier, you can put 2 heavy weapons on the 5-man purifier, and then they can still shoot their 18 inches side weapons. So if you want to do a 5-man purifier unit with Crow, they can advance up, shoot at +1 ballistic skill, 18 inches down, 2 shots each, so it's 10 purify flame plus Crow's 4, so that's 4 purify flame shots, hitting on 2s, ignoring cover, AP2, 1 damage, and then all of their 2 side cannon with bolters. So that combo might be really good. And then when they get out, you can have another interceptor unit move in, so that way they can kind of go out next turn and get the extra 3-inch movement. So you can kind of keep rotating guys if you really want to do it that way. So that's the Razorback. Advanced charge from Dreads. So all the Dread Knights can advance and charge now. They can advance, shoot, and charge. So the Dread Knights being able to just be fucking all over the table at any given time. So they can auto advance 14 and still shoot. So these guys being able to auto advance up the wall, we already went over that, but they can basically get into different quarters kind of easily without having to pick them up and deep strike them anywhere on the table. Now, I have a Nemesis Dread Knight Grandmaster who I'm probably going to be picking up every single turn because he can spend 1 CP not be shot at in your movement phase. So basically, you pick this guy up, you deep strike him, the Grandmaster, every single turn. Like no matter what, you could just pick him up and put him back down exactly where he was, spend 1 CP in your turn. So that way on the opponent's turn, they can't shoot at him unless they're within 12 inches. So he basically gains the lone operative keyword, essentially. So he can shoot, he can do all that stuff every single turn, but then your Dread Knights are just going to be super quick, fucking skeeting all over the table, auto-advancing, shooting, and charging, which is kind of nuts. Dreadnought from reserves. So if we have a Dreadnought, right, coming in from reserves, let's say he comes in 6 inches on this table edge, coming in from reserves, you can have a 10-man Pally Brick kind of come down. Let's say it's Drago's unit, right? He comes down within 6 inches right here, outside of 9 inches of this unit that he's charging. This 10-man Paladin unit is going to get reroll 1s to hit and wound because they're within 5 inches or 6 inches of the Dreadnought. So the Dreadnought coming in from reserves, basically putting him anywhere on the table that you're going to have a unit deep strike near. So if he's walking up here, he can walk in down here, he can walk in down there. He basically just walks in from reserve. He can then shoot, you know, if you give him the flamers or the melted guns or heavy bolters, whatever you want to give him, he can shoot. And then all that 10-man, you know, Terminator brick coming down gets to shoot, rerolling 1 to hit and wound. And if they make their 6-inch charge, potentially you can then, you know, keep one of them at least near 6 inches of the Dreadnought. So that way they still continue the reroll hits and wounds of 1. The Dreadnought next turn can then move up and keep giving them that reroll 1s to hit and wounds. So I think having 1 Dreadnought in a list could definitely benefit most of us and our playstyles, because coming in deep strike, you can still come in via 6 inches from the Dreadnought. The Dreadnought can shoot, and the Terminators or whatever you have in that can also shoot as well. Now he doesn't buff vehicles, which kind of sucks, so you can't buff your Dread Knights, but any infantry unit that you have near 6 inches of them is just going to be able to just kind of shoot and, you know, go crazy. Let's take a look at the Venerable Dread. So Ven lost his hitting on 2s, he only hits on 3s now. I still think having a close combat weapon, if you're going to be using him pretty close to the enemy, is still good to have. 5 attacks, hitting on 3s, strength 12, 2 AP, and 3 damage. Or if you just want to have him mainly as a fire support, because now vehicles can shoot out of combat, he's probably going to be behind your Terminator squad coming in from deep strike. So having him as just a gun platform might be better. You can either put a does he have a flamer with a Stormbolter still? So he comes with an assault cannon, Stormbolter, and dread combat weapon. So you can add 1 heavy flamer and 1 dreadnought combat weapon. So you can add a heavy flamer to it. So I definitely have a heavy flamer just to kind of kill some chaff that are trying to charge you or in combat with you. So you can definitely add the heavy flamer onto that, and then the close combat dreadnought weapon. Or this model's assault cannon replace one of the following: heavy plasma cannon, which does supercharge, blast, strength 8, AP3, 3 damage. That's definitely going to kill some infantry. But if you want to go with the last cannon, you have 1 shot, or the multi-melta, which you have 2 shots, strength 9, which still isn't going to be crazy on vehicles, but -4 d6 damage. So maybe twin lass. You have to hit on a 3 though. That's going to be tough. And then multi-melta, twin lass cannon, or missile launcher and armored feet. So you can have the missile launcher as well, which is only strength 9. So what I would do is probably go with the close combat flamer and probably multi-melta. Yeah. Or the plasma cannon. If you want him to do the killing more infantry or heavy armored infantry, the plasma cannon and close combat weapon flamer would be good. Because I think, honestly, we're just going to be ignoring vehicles most of the time anyway. So, all right. So to combo this, he walks in. Let's say we have Stern leading a unit. Stern actually gives that unit mortal wounds on 6s. So when I combine Stern right here, in melee on a critical wound, which is a 6, it's 1 additional mortal wound. When you combine Stern with the 2 CP devastating wounds, you can actually do your Terminators leading by Stern. So Stern basically comes in turn 2 via rapid ingress, so that way they can then walk up and charge. Then turn 2 or turn 1 they come in rapid ingress, or turn 2 they come in rapid ingress. Then on your turn they walk up and charge. But when they walk up, you want a Dread to walk in from the side, so they kind of have to be near the edges. So let's say they come in rapid ingress, here. They then walk up 5 inches. Venerable Dread comes in here, so that way he's within 6 inches. They then get to shoot, right? Reroll 1s to hit and wound. And then they can charge. Hopefully there's a unit, relatively close. They can charge. And they're still within 6 inches of the Venerable Dread. And how that works is if they're within 6 inches of the Venerable Dread, they get to reroll hits and wounds of 1. And they get exploding 6s. So they're going to get exploding 6s on the charge. So they get lethal hits on the charge. Sorry. Lethal hits is auto wound. Fuck. Why was I thinking something different? So each time a model makes a charge move, they gain lethal hits. Does lethal hits 6s to hit count as a 6 to wound? That is the question. So they gain lethal hits, so they auto wound on 6. But does the auto wound 6 count as an auto 6 to wound? Because then if that's the case, then they get to basically get 3 mortal wounds with the devastating wounds. So how it works, they charge in, you get rerolls 1s to hit, and then reroll 1s to wound. So if you have 4 attacks each, 10 attacks coming in, 10 hits going in, and then they get to reroll 1s to wound, any 6s to wound will do a mortal wound. Or sorry, 3 mortal wounds because it's devastating wounds. So 2 damage, devastating wound, and then plus 1 mortal wound on top of that with Stern. So that would be the combos. They walk in from rapid ingress, they then get to move up and then charge, but make sure that they're within 6 inches of the Dreadnought walking in, so that way they get to get reroll 1s to hit and wound, and any 6s to wound does a 2 or 3 devastating wounds. So it's 2 CP. That's a really good combo if you're going to do the Terminator squad with the Stern. Then we already went over the Purifiers, Stern with the Dread and the Strats. Let's get into the Brother Captain with the Strikes. So the Brother Captain, I think, is going to be a beast. I have a really cool Brother Captain model. He has precision on his attacks. He also has, while this model is leading a unit, they can fight first. And each time the model makes a melee attack against a character, you can reroll hit and wound rolls. Like, this guy is insane at killing characters. But why you combine him with the fucking strike squads is the strike squads have a scout move of 6, and they have sticky objectives. So then with the scouts, they basically get to move up 6 inches, and then he can move up and then charge probably something turn 1 or turn 2 if they move up. So he's just going to be basically a missile coming at the squads, and the whole squad has a strike fight first ability. So since these guys have scout 6, they're going to be up pretty far, but they're going to be not wanting to be charged at, because if you have a guy that has fight first in that unit, if they charge you, you then fight before them, because defenders get to pick first, and anybody who has fight first has that bonus, so they can basically fight before the charging unit fights. So that's a really good combo, where if you want to have a just full out melee squad for the strike squads, maybe put Incinerator on them, I'm not sure, but full melee weapon strike squad with a Brother Captain, scout move 6, and then you can kind of move up and charge, or that'll be a deterrent for other models trying to charge them. So that, I think, is gonna be a really good combo. I just like the dude altogether. He fucking has fight first, 5 attacks, hitting on 2s, strength 6, AP 2, 2 damage, and he rerolls all hits and wounds. That's really good with precision. 2 up, 4 up, 4 wounds. Yeah, and you can customize. These guys look really, really cool if you customize them. So, Libby. So if you want to go 3 librarians, which could be cool, 3 librarians. They actually, I just found this out today. The precision Sorry, this one. Vortex of Doom ignores the Lookout Sir, the lone operative ability, because it's not a shooting attack. It's in the shooting phase, but you can select one enemy unit within 18 inches and visible to the Psyker. So let's say you see an assassin up on the building. He then deep strikes and just targets that assassin up on the building, and it's not a shooting attack, so you can still target it. You can't shoot at him, but you can target him 18 inches away, and then you basically just snipe him on a 2+. I think they only have... How many wounds do they have? I think they only have 4 wounds. So let's say the WintherKlinge assassin has 4 wounds, no feel no pains. He's got an invuln save, but no feel no pains against mortal wounds. So basically 2d3. So you have to roll 2 3s, and then you just snipe this guy. That's pretty cheeky. Yeah, 2d3 mortal wounds, and on a 6 you do 2d6 mortal wounds. Still, he has a chance to survive, but it's still just a cool thing because he has precision, so you can actually target characters coming down as well. So you deep strike, you can then target a character in a unit as long as you can see him. Just ignore that. That's only on the weapon. So this Witchfire, which has 1 shot, hitting on 3s, strength 6, AP 2, 3 damage is precision, but his thing is just the unit. But this basically gets around the lone operative keyword. So anybody like, I guess, Tech Marines, you can get around. I think the Lion gains lone operative if he's within 3 inches. So you can target the Lion. So just doing a shit ton of mortal wounds to the Lion. I don't know if the Lion has mortal wound save. He probably does. He's the fucking Lion. But having a mortal wound librarian coming down, or 2 or 3 librarians coming down and just nuking some characters off the table. So remember that this gets around the lone operative keyword. Then we got the Razorback, full rerolls the wound we already went over, and then Storm Raven with 2 units of Purgation, Purifiers, and a Dread. So we talked about this before, the Storm Raven, depending on the points. If the points are still low, like they were at the end of 9th edition, if the points are low, you can basically run him at 260 or 280 points, which totally be worth it. He's -1 damage now, but he can fit 12 models and a Dreadnought. So now that you can move up and then disembark after movement, they can't charge, but this guy's going to be able to deliver anybody 20 inches away to just nuke something off the table. So what I would probably be running is a 10-man Purifier squad with Crow inside. That's your 11 models. You can also put a Tech Priest if you really want. So Tech Priest gives him a 2-up to hit in the command phase, gets in the Storm Raven, and then you walk up and then disembark the other people over there. So you go 20 inches, you disembark this fucking huge ass unit. I don't know if you can disembark on top of a building, probably not, but you disembark and then you just unload everything rerolling 1s to hit and wound with your Dreadnought. So your Dreadnought gets out, he can then shoot. Your 10-man Purifier unit with Crow gets out, and then they can shoot if they're within rapid fire range, which most likely they should be. You then just unload all these bolter shots and all of these Purify flame shots. You can even shoot them from 18 inches away, so you don't want to get too close. You basically just get in the position that you really want to get to. Probably go 12 inches because then you get the rapid fire with the storm bolters, but at least drop them off 12 inches away and then just unload everything from there. And then also your Storm Raven gets the fucking shoot as well. So another trick with the Storm Raven is if you go into hover, you start in hover. That's how you're able to kind of start on the board and then turn 1, hop up 20 inches, and then unload them. Since the Purgation squads have eyeless sight, so the idea is with the Purgation, if this is your Storm Raven, I know it's the same size as the Dread Knight base, but the wings and everything makes it like super big, so you're going to be able to see it most of the time, but at least he'll get cover. So he's got does he have a 3-up save or a 2-up? Oh, fuck, he's got a 2-up save. Or a 3-up save. He should have a 2-up save. Toughness 10, 3-up save, 14 wounds, -1 damage, which might help. And no invuln save. So what we do is the Storm Raven flies up to here. Or you can even fly fucking all the way over here. Like literally fly anywhere to be behind the cover, right? Because he doesn't get the towering or anything like that because he loses the aircraft keyword. So he flies up behind here, keep like the wings and everything as far back as you possibly can, so that way it's harder for them to see you on the other side. Your guys then get dropped off. Let's say it's 2 purgation units, so 2 purgation squads. They get dropped off. Let's say there's a wall here. They can then shoot on the other side of the wall without somebody else. So somebody has to see, let's say, this unit, but you have a Dread Knight, I don't know, over here somewhere. So the Dread Knight can see this unit. This purgation squad behind the wall can then shoot that unit. If they're flamers, you can then get out and flamer that unit without, you know, ignoring cover and all that, or line of sight. So 2 purgation squads, and the Dreadnought comes down out right next to it, so that way this whole squad gets to reroll 1s to hit and wound. So 2 purgation squads, even unloading side cannons or flamers, whatever you may be. But that is going to be super quick. Storm Raven. Storm Raven can then shoot something. Let's say there's another shot or another vehicle up here, or a unit that started up here. The Storm Raven then would then have line of sight to this unit right here, kind of with this little, how this diagram looks. He has line of sight to this thing, so the Storm Raven can just unload everything onto this guy. These Purgation can unload everything into this building, and then the Storm Raven finishes them off. These guys shoot them, and then your Dreadnought gets out like right here, right against the ruin. He can then help and destroy this unit up here. So Storm Raven with purgations, or Storm Raven with Crow and Purifiers, or 5 purgation, 5 Purifiers, Crow, and any of those combos, that is going to be pretty good. So instead of bringing a Land Raider, you can bring a Storm Raven, because I think that'll be a good thing to test. I'm definitely going to test that out. Just make it super fast. And then Dreads, Advancing, and Charging, we can ignore Battle Shock tests. So this is going to be one of the last things that we go over so far. Again, these are the first additions that we have for tactics. We do have an original tactical video prior to this. If you want to go check that out. But we can ignore Battle Shock test. So whenever a unit is below half strength, every single command phase, you're going to have to do a Battle Shock test. So to ignore that, you can basically pick up your unit at the end of the opponent's turn, pick them off, and then take them off the board and put them into reserves. And then on your turn, they get to come back in via Deep Strike. So that unit, if you want, will ignore Battle Shock tests for the rest of the game. It might only be one guy. You know, if you really want him to survive, you could basically just take him off the board, bring him back on, and then ignore the Battle Shock test. You can do that for 3 units. So if 3 guys at the beginning of the command phase have to take a Battle Shock test, they won't have to, because they won't be on the table anymore. At the end of the opponent's turn, you get to do Teleport Assault, take off 3 of your units, and then on your turn in reserves, they come back in at the end of the movement phase. So already skipped the command phase where Battle Shock happens, so your units don't have to take Battle Shock tests. So that's a good little combo. Let's say they kind of put this whole algorithm together. They charged in. They got everybody within, you know, your 6 inches of your guys. They're like, great, if this guy survives or fails his Battle Shock test, I'm going to be able to kill that unit, get points, whatever it may be. You're like, actually, sir, no. I'm just going to take this guy off the table. And they're like, what? I'm like, yeah. So take him off the table. At the end of the turn, you put him back on, and now there's no Battle Shock test. So that is my tactical video for Grey Knights. Hopefully this has helped you guys out. If there's anything that I missed or any crazy ideas that you guys think about, head over to Discord, but put them in the comments below, because I read these every single day. We're growing the channel super fast. If you are interested in getting into the competitive scene, go head over to competitive Patreon. You can be a competitive dirtbag or a Grandmaster dirtbag. If you guys just want to support the channel, $1 a month, $3, $5 a month, I really appreciate you guys. Are awesome. We're growing super rapidly. We're going to ACO this weekend, so by the time more of these videos are going to be posted up on YouTube, I'll already be coming back from ACO. I'll let you guys know how it is. I'm going to be practicing some 10th edition games for Grey Knights at ACO. Anytime we have some downtime, if I lose 2 games, I'm just going to play 10th edition for the rest of the weekend. Just to kind of meet a whole bunch of people that I see all over the country. Been seeing them all over the different GTs. Anytime you see each other at a GT, it's really cool to say, see how they're doing, and they remember you. It feels really cool. But yeah, so that is what's going on, guys. A lot of videos have been fucking made in the past 2 days. I am tired, and I got ready for ACO. So there's going to be more coming up when I get back from ACO. So appreciate you guys. Thanks for all the support. Let me know what you guys think about this, good, bad, whatever it may be. And we'll see you in another video soon.